Hey there, doctors. If you had the choice between a $10,000 advertising campaign or 10 new 5-star Google reviews, what would you choose? My name is Mark Thackeray, and I am a proud endorsed partner of the California Association of Orthodontists. And today I wanted to touch on the not so secret weapon of Google reviews. I want to talk about why they matter to your practice and really how to get more of them without bribing your patients with branded pens and chapstick. One, why Google reviews matter. When it comes to finding a new orthodontist, a lot of patients will go directly to Google. They'll go online. We are so used to this now, it's just become second nature. And so they'll look for one that's in the area. And then one of the first things that they do is they'll look up and read the Google reviews. They want to make sure that they're not going to some place that's going to deliver a horrible experience. They want to make sure that other people have been there, they trust you, and that they can have confidence picking up the phone and scheduling an appointment. We do this all the time, right? This is nothing new. When it comes to restaurants, we go, where do we go? We look online, we see where it is, we read the reviews, and if it makes sense, then we go. And that's even more important when it comes to orthodontic care because that is a long-term commitment. It's not just one appointment or two appointments, but we're talking 6, 12, sometimes 24 months of going to a provider, right? So we want to make sure that that's a good decision. And so Google reviews play a very important role in delivering that first impression for your patients. They give social proof to let you know that hey, there's other people that have had a good experience. There's even a person that was afraid to go in and they had a great experience. So now maybe I can have that same thing too. It's one of those things that is really important to get right because it is your first impression with a prospective new patient. And there are a lot of studies out there, and they show that 90% of patients go online and read those reviews before they choose a new provider. So it's absolutely imperative to get those reviews right. 2, Google reviews boost your SEO. Here's where it gets even better is Google absolutely loves reviews. Why? Because it's direct feedback from customers saying they've had a good experience. And that is a powerful signal back to Google's algorithm to show your practice higher up in those search results. Because that's really what they're after. They're trying to deliver a good experience for their users. So if they show, let's say, a provider that does not have a good reputation, then that's not going to deliver a really good experience. So that's just to give you a little bit of insight on how Google works. They're trying to make sure it match you up with the best possible solution or answer to your query. So every time that you get a Google review, that's going to ping Google and let them know, hey, this company is relevant, or in this case, your practice is relevant. Patients are having a good experience, and that gives them gives you more ammo to show up higher up in those search results. Google looks at a couple of different things when it comes to reviews. They want to see that you have a good overall rating. So your rating is on a scale of 1 to 5. Most fall within that 4.5 to 5.0 rating, which is great. And that's kind of where you want to be. You don't necessarily have to be 5.0. You can be a 4.8, 4.7. And sometimes that adds a little bit more credibility because people think they see that, oh, these probably are all people that you know, and that's good. But they also want to see the quantity of reviews. You don't have to have 10,000 reviews. It's really more in context of your competition and other providers in the area. So if they have a couple hundred, you want to be around that range too, ultimately. Still, it doesn't hurt to be more than them. Then the last thing that they're looking at is the recency of the review. Because they don't want to see a business that hasn't gotten a review in 2 years or even 6 months, because then that's kind of showing, oh, maybe a question mark there. Are they even still open for business? They want to see those reviews coming in as frequently as possible, because then it feels like, oh, this business or this practice is trending. There's a lot of people going there and they're having a really good response. So that's another thing I love about Google reviews is it allows your patients to do SEO for you. Bless them. 3, Google reviews help with conversion. So when a prospect pulls up your profile and they start to read through reviews, they go from just a casual observer, to someone who's starting to believe that this could be the answer for their needs in terms of an orthodontic provider. They're looking through those reviews, they're reading other people's experiences. Oftentimes they're seeing themselves in those experiences, and it allows them to build that credibility, build that rapport with you, to the point where they can now feel more comfortable picking up the phone and calling to schedule an appointment. That's the power of Google reviews, is it allows someone else to tell them how great you are instead of you doing that. It's always much more relevant and much more credible when someone else is doing all the good talking about you than you yourself. So it allows, I kind of look at it as Google reviews give a megaphone to your patients and to scream into and tell all the good things about you. And it has all the great benefits without the actual screaming. 4, Google reviews boost loyalty and culture. So what do I mean by that? So when someone is asked to take a stance on something or someone or cause, then they are much more likely to remain loyal to that cause down the road. They've done a lot of studies on this that show that people ultimately want to be consistent. They want to be consistent with what they said in the past, right? And anytime you can get a patient to advocate for your practice, to give a review, to give a testimonial, then that builds their loyalty to your practice. Now you may be thinking, well, cool, but they usually only come to me one time anyway, and they're one and done. That may be true that they might only get braces once, or might only go through clear aligners once, but the chance for referrals diminishes if they are not an advocate of the practice. Let's say that they don't feel that attachment, then they're less likely to pass a referral, right? So the flip side of that is that if you allow them to, or give them the opportunity to make a review or to leave a review about your practice, then they're going to be that much more tied to your practice because they want to appear consistent. Plus they've had a good experience. It allows them to express what you did for them and share that with other people. 5, Google reviews provide honest feedback that your practice needs to improve. One of the biggest fears that a lot of practices have about asking for reviews is getting a negative review. They know those patients that they don't even want to ask for a review because they didn't think that they had a good experience. Most of the time, that's not even true, by the way. But they have those perceptions, right? They have those discussions in their head thinking, oh, we can't do it to Dave. He looked like he was having a terrible day. I'm not going to ask him for a review. But the reality is that we need that feedback. As a practice that's trying to thrive today, which I know you are because you're listening to this right here, you care about the experience that you're delivering, you actually need that feedback because there are going to be things that you just have a blind spot on, that they fall in that blind spot and you're just not going to be aware of them. And so if you see that maybe that feedback come in every once in a while and there's a theme there, then that's something that you should probably be attention to. Now, are you going to get the occasional review that just doesn't make sense, that you did everything that you could and it was just a disgruntled patient? Yeah, that's going to happen too. But they probably were going to leave a review anyway, even if you didn't ask. So don't worry about that. I always encourage people to just keep asking for reviews because it's going to ultimately drown out, all the positive reviews will drown out the negative ones. So don't worry about the result after asking for a review. You just want to embrace all that feedback. And one thing that's cool too is if you get a negative review, provides a unique opportunity to win that patient over and help them become a huge advocate for your practice. And that's because as patients, we don't really, like I'm speaking from a patient, I don't expect perfection. I know that you're human. I know that you're going to make mistakes at times. What I do expect is that if you do make a mistake, that you do what you can to fix it. So if you get a negative review, that gives you that opportunity to go out of your way and prove that you really do care about them as a patient and that you want to make amends. You want to make things right. And oftentimes when you do that and they see that you're genuine about that, they will come back and they will freaking love you to the moon. They will shout about you until the day's end, and that's what's so cool about this opportunity. If you're not getting those, I just smashed my mic. If you're not getting those reviews, then you forfeit that opportunity, right? So it provides that honest feedback that allows you to make changes, that allows you to get better, and ultimately allows you to deliver a better experience. How to get more reviews. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the benefits of reviews. Now, how do you get more of those? One of the biggest things that I've learned is to ask at the right time. You want to look for that sweet spot moment where they've had a good experience, whether they've maybe paid you a compliment or said, man, that was a lot easier than I thought. That's the perfect time to step in and just say, you know what? Thank you for saying that. Would you mind sharing that on Google? I still get a lot of people that are afraid to come in because they're worried it's going to be uncomfortable or painful. And more often than not, people will be like, yeah, I could totally do that. And if you make it easier for them too and just provide them the link, oh man, it removes the friction. It's seamless, makes super easy. It takes 30 seconds to do, right? So those are kind of the biggest things that I've seen to get more reviews, is to make it simple for them, but to ask at the right time. Now, you might be saying, well, there's too much going on to have my team ask to remember all these things. That's way down on the priority list. And that may be true, right? So one of the things that we do is we have automated a software system that connects with your practice management software and automatically asks every single patient after their appointment's been closed. It sends them a quick text. It injects a little bit of humor too, so it's not the same review request you get from your car mechanic or anything like that. But it just makes them chuckle a little bit, hopefully. And it's actually worked really, really well. We just have a new practice that started using this approach, and they've added another 25 or 30 reviews in the past month and a half to their score, which has been a huge deal for them because they were at like a 4.3 rating, and now they're all the way up to a 4.8 star rating, and they're increasing their review count and their recency, and Google's loving it, right? That's one of the ways that you do it. If you want to try and do this on your own, you totally can. Like I said, maybe you have someone that's willing to take ownership on your team and say, hey, that's me. I'm going to get the reviews for today. Then we've got something for you too. So we've got some templates that you can use that, again, take a little more humorous approach than normal. And they've worked really well, that you can just copy, kind of modify a little bit to your practice, and then paste that, whether you text it out or email it out after the appointment's closed. Then you're going to see more reviews. And that's the most important thing, is that you're asking for those reviews, because if you're asking for them, you are going to get them. Right. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Or if you have any requests for future content, please leave those below as well. I always love to get your feedback, and we'll see you next time.